Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here. Great for recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day. Guys, happy Sunday. Hope everybody's having a great day. Please don't forget to subscribe and give the video a like, leave me a comment, and by all means, share it with somebody to get something out of it. Other than that, you guys know by now it's Sunday. Sunday is God's day to me, and I'm having a nice day today. It's the second week in a row. I went to the new church, St. John's, down here in Mass Ave. And I don't think I've ever been to a church that had a choir like they do. They have full choir, full organ. It's absolutely beautiful. And again, I'm not a huge fan of organized religion, but I enjoy hearing the scripture today. I enjoy being a part of a community, and I just enjoy participating in new things. And my higher power, whom I choose to call God, my relationship with Him, continues to get stronger and stronger. And again, I tell everybody all the time, the kingdom of heaven is from within, and I truly believe that. But that doesn't mean I can't still go to a church and enjoy myself for it. Now, again, I don't pay too much attention to what any human being says unless it particularly makes sense to me. But I don't mind being around. I don't mind. I enjoy being around other people who are giving reverence. And again, if you know, as soon as somebody takes it to that level where they think theirs is the only way and theirs is better than somebody else's, then I immediately back off and just, I'm no part of that, because that's the problem with religion is everybody thinks that they have the only one, the only way. And again, I can only speak on my theory. My theory on it is it's just being a part of something greater than yourself, finding your higher power. And I'm not even going to get into talk about religion, guys. We're going to just let that one go altogether. It goes nowhere good with that. So, what I will want to do, and I do want to talk about, is turning pain into purpose. And that's a slogan that I've applied in my life. And that's something that everybody can do. At some point in our lives, guys, we got to address the stuff that brought us into addiction. Because if you don't heal from that, it's really hard to find lasting positive recovery. You might abstain for a while, what they call a dry drunk or a non-using addict. And I don't want that life, guys. I want everything. I want the whole enchilada, right? And that's what I'm going after, guys. The reason I get on here and do these videos every day is because I feel like I've cracked the code. I've said that many times. And it's not because I'm better than anybody, not because there's something special about me. It's because I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to fully surrender to a power greater than myself. And that is really the key. And then in doing that, I start to see the error of my ways, the error of my thinking, and understand that everything started and ended with me. Although I give a lot of credit for the goodness in my life to being a part of something greater than myself, I have to see the value in me in order to be a part of that, right? To be a part of something greater than myself. Everything is, the culmination of everything you do. But guys, it's really important to analyze your behaviors, analyze your thought patterns, right? See where your thinking gets you into trouble. And you got to understand that, guys. Like, one thing you have full control over is your own thoughts. It's not necessarily easy and not something you can flip off like, flipping a switch. But with consistent consistent energy put towards it, you can literally rewire your brain. And the more positive your thinking is, the better you see. Now, again, in order to see yourself in a positive light, you've got to do good things. So if you know you're doing shit that's wrong, I'm not calling you out. I'm not, because we all do. Particularly in my former life, everything I did was wrong. I've got a laundry list of bad behaviors from my former life that is horrifying. But again, in order to let them go, I had to change them. So first of all, if you know you're doing wrong, change your behavior. Baby steps, big steps, whatever you're capable of, right? But just be the best person you can. Act better. Where you know you're wrong, stop doing it, and then you forgive yourself for it. And again, make amends wherever possible. Again, a lot of people in the program, a lot of people out. So if you're doing the steps and sponsoring all that stuff, good for you. That's fantastic. I definitely encourage it. But for those of you just trying to live better, this is not a 12-step channel. This is a recovery channel, and it's just a spiritual channel. And take from it what you can. Myself, I have not gotten a sponsor. I haven't gone through the steps, and it's not stopping me in any way, shape, or form. Not to say that I don't want to at some point, but it's when I feel, if and when I feel ready and feel that I get something out of it, then I will do so. For myself, I'm doing it, and you know, again, I believe this is a spiritual disease, and I'm coming at it with a spiritual cure, and it's working incredibly well for me, guys. And I'm also not giving, I'm taking it much further than that. I'm not allowing my old behaviors to fester in my new life, and that is huge. And that's something I'm trying to take over. And however you get there is up to you. But again, so often because of the shit that we've been through, we hold on to those behaviors. We hold on, and we use them as a crutch. Oh, I don't want to step up. I don't want to do the work, so I'm going to use an excuse, and I'm going to say every time somebody says, well, this is what you're doing wrong, this is why you're not progressing, I'm going to come back at them, well, this is why I'm doing that. Well, you got to let that stuff go, guys. And I mean, it's perfectly fine. If you want to wallow and you want to stay where you are, then fine. I don't know what you're doing here, but again, I'm not telling you how you have to live your life. What I'm telling you is that, for what I found, you're incredibly capable of overcoming anything and reaching new heights, progressing and making your life second to none. And that's literally what I'm doing. I'm a walking example of how well this works, and I love that today. It's my greatest honor to be the person that I'm being right now, and that's something I could never say. I had no honor. I had no sense of self-worth. I had no self-esteem. I had no confidence, unless other than in my work, because I was good at my work. Because that's one thing that I gave, I put everything into. It was, the only thing I wanted spotlighted. Today you can look at any area of my life, and I'm proud of everything that I'm doing, and that's something anybody can do. Guys, find a relationship with your higher power. Get introspective. Get whatever help you need to get, right? There's no, and that's the biggest, that's huge for me, guys, because that was something I was so dead against. I thought it was like a weakness. Nothing could be further from the truth. No man is an army. No man is an island. We all need to be a part of something. We are communal animals. And we get things done by working in cooperation with each other, right? So there's all these professionals out there that study years and years and years, human behavior, medical, emotional, spiritual, mental, and they know a hell of a lot more than I do, right? All I know is I had this set of behaviors and a set of thinking, and nobody ever sat with me and explained to me why I thought the way I did. I thought that's how I am. Nothing could change that. And as it turns out, nothing could be further from the truth, thankfully. Every one of us is capable of reinventing ourselves to be anything we want to be. Where your attention goes, energy flows, and that is not a sentence. That is an opportunity, and that's something you got to understand, guys. How you want to look at everything determines what you're going to get out of everything. So if you want to sit there and just say, well, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this because of this, and this, then you can't. You're 100% correct. As soon as you say, I have to change this, and this is what I need in my life, then you'll start getting those things. Now, again, you're going to have to take the steps. But that is the first step to moving in the right direction, right? Look at any area of your life where you're not succeeding, you're not happy, you're not where you want to be. And instead of looking at the excuses as to why, let it go. It doesn't matter, right? When you punch your destination into your GPS on your phone, car, computer, whatever, does it ask you where you've been? No, it doesn't matter. What it matters is where you are right now and where you want to go. That's it. And at some point, you have to start treating it, the facts. If you want to start making changes, you got to remove your negative emotions from the equation, at least to start, at least to get it going, and figure out, just look at a cold, hard fact. Where am I? Where do I want to be? Okay, well, right now I'm struggling with addiction and I don't want to anymore. Okay, well, how do I get there? Rehab, outpatient, medically assisted treatment, whatever you decide your case is. And again, I would strongly recommend getting second opinions, talking to professionals. Guys, get into therapy. Getting into therapy was the best thing I ever did. You're having a recovery advisor, having a recovery coach, being a part of the solution, because other people out there know way more than I do, right? They know of opportunities, they know of resources, they know of whatever, guys, anything, right? I didn't have all the answers, and I still don't. And that's one of the reasons I'm going as far and getting things put together as fast as I do, because I'm not sitting there trying to say I have it all. Guys, if you don't acknowledge there's a problem, you're not going to get a solution. If you don't acknowledge that somebody else knows, if you sit there and think that you know everything, you're not going to learn anything. You can't progress and expand without taking in new information. You can't get different results without taking different actions. It's simple as that. And it's not that scary, guys. It's not some big thing to admit that we don't know everything. The most intelligent, strongest thing you can do is admit that you need help. And we all do when we come into the program, right? That's why they call it step one. The first thing you got to do is admit there's a problem in order to start finding a solution. Everything else in life falls along the same path, guys. For me, a big problem I had was I called myself a non-believer. I can't even say now that I look back at it, I can't even say I was a non-believer because I was very apprehensive to tempt fate in that way. I wouldn't speak ill of whatever the governing God, right? Whatever the governing energies of the universe were. I wouldn't pray and ask for stupid things because in the past when I prayed and asked for help, I got the help, but it didn't usually come in the form I wanted. Like I'll give you an example. One of the few times I prayed over the years was I think the second time I was looking at jail time, and it was a shit situation. And I had warrants out for my arrest, and the cops were starting to come to my house in Norwood and pounding the door. And I said a prayer one night. I said, God, you got to get me out of this situation. You got to, please help me with this situation. And literally, like an hour later, they kicked in my front door and threw handcuffs on me. And I'm like, well, that was literally the only way that situation was going to go away. Was I had to go face it. I had to go into court and do the time, and I ended up doing a good clip of time. And I was very, very young at that point. It was a scary, scary deal. And after that, over the years, I realized, I'm like, you got to be careful what you ask for. You got to be careful what you pray for, because you're more than likely going to get it. And then I would say I was an atheist and I didn't believe. Well, those two don't mesh. But what I would do is I would ignore those facts. I would ignore those things, and it was easier for me to say because I didn't want to spend the time. Because that's the thing, guys. When you start admitting you're a part of something and you believe something, right? Now you have to look at your behaviors that that are not in alignment with that, and that's what I didn't want to do. I couldn't sit there and be a part of something and give reverence and be faithful and be grateful while I knew I was doing all these wrong things, and I wasn't ready to stop doing those things. So I wasn't ready to admit, and I used that as an excuse. And here's the thing, guys. I feel amazing saying that today. Because I didn't know that then, because I wasn't being introspective. I wasn't doing the work. The reasons I'm getting where I'm getting today is because I've taken the time to read, to listen, instead of trying to just make up put my spin on everything constantly. I've shut my mouth and I've listened. I'm learning, I'm reading, I'm researching. Guys, literally, it's what I do a lot, often, like all day long. I listen to positive podcasts, right? I start to understand psychology and the way that our chemical composition in our brains work, and the reason we feel the way we feel, the reasons we do. And then I understand that I have the ability to control that, right? By being a part of something bigger than myself. And again, anybody, if you have certain strengths and your brain works a certain way, you might find a different path. What I'm saying is what's worked for me, and what I think is the most effective, which is, again, and you got that, guys. No man is an island, no man is an army. We got to be part of something. We are definitely community people, and I like being a part of the community today. It's important to me that I don't break laws. And again, I still slip up. I catch myself all the time. But as I notice behaviors as I'm doing them, I now rectify them, and that's why, again, my life continues to expand, because I've been consistently doing better and better things. Starting with the way that I talk to myself, the way that I see myself, and the way I couldn't change the way I feel about myself. I was still talking to myself in a shitty way, and then going out and imposing my will and doing shitty things. So I stopped those behaviors, and I started donating my time. I started talking to people. I started trying to help as many people around, in every situation, trying to uplift everybody I come in contact with. And lo and behold, I started feeling better about the person that I am, because now I'm doing good actions on a regular basis. And I started to say, wow, I feel like I'm a pretty good person. And I got more introspective and started stepping up even further, right? Instead of going for, working for a job where I knew the guy was crooked and he's got me lying to people because he's lying to people and this. No, I walked away from that situation because I knew I couldn't be the person I wanted to be in that situation. And I was honest, as scary as I was, because I made good money, guys. I was, in a lot of debt, and I didn't have shit, and I needed a lot of things, and I walked away from $60,000 a year cash job, and I had to, because I knew I couldn't progress in that environment. So I took that leap of faith. And because I did, and I did it in the best way possible, an honest way possible, God gave me an opportunity to open my own business, and now I'm making 5 times that. And it's beautiful, right? And I'm saving money, and I got money in bank accounts, and I get an opportunity to invest in property. Like, it's amazing. Again, I don't like to say that, but I'm saying when you take the leap of faith, when you're honest, when you do better action, you're going to get better results. Whatever steps and whatever your situation is going to be is going to determine what those rewards and results are. But if you do it right, if you do what you know is right, if you do everything you can, everything you do to the absolute best of your ability, every time you sense yourself stepping out of alignment, out of line, where you're doing something isn't the best opportunity, the best decision for that moment, change it and go to that best one, particularly when it's uncomfortable, particularly when it's hard, because that's when the biggest reward's going to come. Guys, all the best things that have happened in my life I never saw coming, because I took a leap of faith, and I took that scary step and admitted something I needed help with, and then because I did it in the right way, I got these amazing results, and life is just getting better and better every day. I love who I'm becoming more and more every day. I'm stepping out and reaching a bigger audience. I'm helping more people. I'm becoming a bigger part of the solution, left and right. And every one of you can do this. Guys, that is the video today, guys. Sunday, God's Day, and again, every day is God's Day. My life is God's life. I've dedicated my life to helping others overcome addiction, to live better lives, and in order to do so, I have to live a better life. So therefore, it gives me an excuse to be selfish and be the best person I can be. And it's just a beautiful little dance. Find your path and do the best you can. But if you know you're doing wrong, arrest that behavior, right? Do things so that you can feel good about who you are. And then reward yourself by being nice to yourself, and then help other people around you. Like, these are action steps to absolutely just blowing your mind, changing your life for better. Guys, that is the video today. God loves you. I love you. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one.